on Net, New Earth TV. I'm your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos, but my friends all call me Kat, so I hope you will too. And tonight we're going to do something a little different. We're going to have story time. And I'm going to be reading a section to you out of the book that's right here behind me, Surviving Cancerland, the intuitive aspects of healing. And this book won 4 awards, and it is now on audio on Amazon, so you can go there and download it and listen when you're working out or any time of the day you want, or at night when you're going to sleep, because the book's all about dreams and healing. So this is actually from the preface. It says, sometimes you don't know what you're made of until you start to fall apart and your best parts pop out and hold you together. You are made up of so much more than id, ego, and superego. Often, bad things happen to good people. That's life. But you don't have to be a victim of circumstances. Listening to your inner guidance can save you from being a victim at all. I embarked on a journey similar to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland when I fell down the rabbit hole of Cancerland. As a child, I had been encouraged to suppress my intuitive gifts of hearing voices, playing with imaginary friends, and drawing auras. These were actually unacceptable in school and especially church. Yep. I locked my intuitions away in the depths of my mind, but when my life was threatened by misdiagnosis and hospital policy, my spirit guides blew off the doors of their cell and flew to my rescue. Rather than being a victim of circumstances, I self-advocated and became an active part in my race for life. So let's talk about how we are so much more than id, ego, and superego. Have you ever had dreams where you've actually seen the same person over and over in your dreams? You may not know their name, but they just kind of show up and they're talking to you like they've known you all your life. Well, they probably have. We have inner parents. We have inner grandparents. Oh my goodness, our grandparents are like the elephants of our mind. They never forget anything. They can tell you about all the mistakes you ever made, and they can also remind you of your successes. Our inner parents try to keep us really, really safe. So when we're about to embark on a new journey, our inner parents will often, say many things to us that our regular parents would say. We'll hear that voice in our mind, repeating things that our mothers and our fathers may have said to us. Then there's another group. I call them our inner teenagers. And our inner teenagers, and they're amazing. They believe they're going to live forever. They're not really afraid of anything. And I'm always amazed when they survive anything. But if you think back to when you were a teenager, you're probably amazed that you're still alive as well. I know I am. And our inner teenagers are the ones within us who will get us through those worst times because they're fearless and they see every challenge as a new adventure. And then there's our inner child. And our inner child is kind of who I was just reading to you too. That inner child loves to hear stories. That inner child loves to sing. That inner child loves to dance. They want to eat their dessert first because, hey, they might be too full at the end of the meal to eat that dessert and they don't want to waste it. That's our inner child, and they're so important to us. So if you kind of think back on some of the crises in your life, some of those bad moments that you had to go through in order to grow, whether you wanted to or not, whether it was a divorce or your first breakup when you were in middle school, or with your first true love. It was before things became very complicated, and yet that breakup was so important to you. Think of your first love that was lost. Think of the first big move you had to make. That crisis that was a defining moment, that was a dark moment in your life, that was a frightening moment because it was the first time you were going through it. And then if you can, think back on some of the dreams you may have had, or if you're going through one of those moments right now, think back about the dreams you've had during this past week or 2 weeks, or maybe the dream you had last night. Did you see people in your dreams? Were those people talking to you as though you were a friend or a child or a student? We have inner teachers inside of us too. Or perhaps even as a patient. Perhaps you connected with your physician within. So, although psychology talks about the id, ego, and superego as being part of our makeup, we have so many more parts to us. And those parts come out when we are in our darkest hour. They can turn a dark moment into a defining moment. They can take something that seems so horribly painful and show you the lesson within it, so that the next time you have a similar dark moment, you can reflect back to how you made it through this one. And you can use those same steps, those same lessons to get you through something even bigger. And that's why we have those moments. And that's why we have them from the time we can start to remember having them. They're steps toward an ultimate goal. They're steps toward your purpose in life. Maybe your purpose, part of your purpose was not to marry your first love. Maybe you were not supposed to be with that person forever, but maybe you were supposed to learn about some of the things that that person possessed that was really going to be of importance to you when you went looking for the person you are going to spend the rest of your life with. And sometimes it's not even just those things that you liked about that special person, but it could also be those things you did not like. Sometimes those are every bit as important as the things that attracted you to that person. Sometimes knowing what you do like is not as important as knowing what you don't like or you don't want. And those are the things you need to watch for in your next relationship, your next job, the next home you live in, the next city you move to. Those are all important. And those people within us, those children, those adults, those grandparents that we see in our dreams are part of our makeup. And they're important because they guide us. And they also let us know that we're not alone. So when you are dreaming and suddenly you see these people in your dreams again, and they're talking to you like they know you, because they do, pay attention to them. Write them down in your dream journal. Write a description of them. I wrote a complete description of my physician within, my Dr. Jules, who is in this book in another chapter. She was amazing, and she was so helpful to me. So, again, this is Surviving Cancerland, intuitive aspects of healing. But many of the lessons in this book go way beyond cancer. They're lessons that you can use in your everyday life. For instance, one of them is you get nowhere standing on the sidelines of life, in the game of life and death with crossed fingers behind your back, waiting for someone else to take action for you. You must be present in your life. You must self-advocate. Otherwise, you're going to be at the whim of the wind. And you deserve better than that. So that's my lesson for tonight. We are made up much more of id, ego, and superego. We have so many other people in us, important people, inner guidance people. And they're there to make sure we do not stand on the sidelines of life waiting for other people to make our decisions for us. We have everything right at our fingertips, and it's all right in our dreams. So if you have not done so yet and would like to start a dream journal, please go to my website, Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos, or The Queen of Dreams. And there is a dream journal you can download on that website. Go there and download it and start writing down your dreams tonight. Start meeting the people who make up your inner self. Meet your inner teenagers. They're amazing. You will love them. They're you. So until next time, I'd like to shout out and say a big thank you to our producer, Rachel Love. And without her, this show would not happen. And tune in again next Tuesday for another story time. Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing, also in audio on Amazon. Get it today. Good night, everybody.
Ever had a strange dream? Nautilus Award winner, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases, by Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos and Duke University radiologist Dr. Larry Burke. Forward by Dr. Bernie Siegel, shares how people like you self-advocated in the face of adversity and won using dreams. Read life-saving dream stories, validated by medical reports. Hear how dreams of dead loved ones save lives. Use interpretations and journaling as roadmaps in your waking world for health, wealth, and love. Dreams that can save your life. Early warning signs of cancer and other diseases. Buy the audio and book at KathleenO'KeefeCanavos.com in English and Italian worldwide and through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other retailers.
Join us next time for some stories out of dreams that can save your life. Good night.